Hey everybody, it's Ed. All right, June 9th, June 10th, and June 11th of 1972, Elvis Presley played Madison Square Garden. That was 50 years ago, come this June 9th, 10th, and 11th, 2022. So, 50 years ago, Elvis played New York City, played 4 sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden, was the first solo artist, I believe, to do so. And the rest is history. And here we are just about 50 years later. And I guess really my main reason for making this video was initially going to be a rant. But I'm going to get to that. Let's just go through all of the goodies that we have gotten, or at least I have, in my collection regarding these historic concerts. So we're going to start with this book that came out from FTD a few years ago. I don't remember exactly what year, and I'm not about to open it to find out. But unfortunately, it's no longer in print, no longer available on the secondary market. It is going for 2 to 3 times what it would initially sold for, and is quite expensive. However, actually, it says it right on the back. This came out in 2017, so about 5 years ago. But phenomenal book. If you can find it and it's within your budget to get it, I would highly recommend getting this book. All right, but of course, the history of Elvis at Madison Square Garden, the LP, that came out a mere 8 days after the concert. After the concert, they immediately decided which concert they were going to release. It was a choice between the Saturday afternoon or the Saturday evening show. Saturday evening show was chosen. They were immediately shipped off to the pressing plants, pressed them away. They already had the covers printed up and ready, and the rest is history. So like I said, 8 days after this concert, from June 10th, I believe it was then June 18th, where the album was released in 1972. And speaking of the album, I happen to have an original copy right here. And this is on the orange Dynaflex label. And of course, the inner sleeve is advertising usually either albums, 8-tracks, cassettes. This one happens to be the LPs of the time, ending with Love Letters, which was, of course, prior to this MSG album. All right, also, what they released, don't mix anything up. At the time, this was for radio stations. This was a double LP promo, white label, and it had the bands in between each song. So this way, if the DJs wanted to play specific songs for the radio, they could, because the initial album had just one straight groove all the way through. There were no bands in between each song to discern where each of the songs ended or started. So, but here's an idea of what the label looks like for the promo. All right, and again, this was a double LP, so, you know, as opposed to the single LP. Commercial release. All right, and then, of course, like I showed you initially, we have the a CD release. This is an American release. I believe this is from the early 90s. And then I have an original, I believe this is 1985. Yes, 1985 Japanese pressing of the Blue Border RCA with the different back cover. And of course, it's in Japanese writing, being it's from Japan. All right, and then for this 40th year anniversary, they released Prince from Another Planet. So this came out 10 years ago, and back in 2012. And this consisted of the afternoon show, the evening show, and a DVD with about 20 minutes worth of Super 8mm footage that they spliced in with the audio from the afternoon show. And then, of course, when we're talking about the afternoon show, here is the CD release. So this came out in 90... I don't know. I can't see it. It's too small. I'm sorry. maybe 99, 2000. I could be wrong. Might be even a little bit earlier than 99. But, you know, welcome release and enjoyable. Love listening to it. But this is my rant. And the fact that here we are, it's going to be 50 years later, and we still haven't heard anything about Sony doing any type of a vinyl release on this particular show, which again could have been a record store day exclusive. It's just, it blows my mind. There's so many opportunities that were missed for the 50th year of releases. Elvis Country should have had a reissue on vinyl. That's the way it is, I think, did on music on vinyl. But regardless, it's so disappointing that at this time, 50 years, and there's still no vinyl release for An Afternoon at the Garden. So that was really my rant. But another thing I thought I'd show you is the original Maxell C60 cassette tape of, what does it say on there? Can you read that? It says Friday Night Elvis 6972 MSG. So actually, even though this says it's on a 60, it's actually on a 120, which means there's about 45 minutes of tape on each side. So yes, I have had this transferred digitally. However, it's really not that good, in my opinion. I haven't put it out for the public because that's a story in and of itself, but I don't know if that one's going to come out. And then this was the tape of the Sunday afternoon show, June 11th, 1972, MSG. But as you can see, there is no tape in there because the tape actually broke. And I think that was actually documented in a video on my buddy's channel. But regardless, the person who I had transferred the tape, you know, knows what he's doing, is a professional, and he was able to save the tape, splice it, and then put it back in a new cartridge for me. So, and you know, then from there was able to duplicate it. So this one is actually released. I did release the Sunday afternoon show. So if you go back in my YouTube channel page, you will find that. And from what I understand, people are very happy with hers, because apparently the other one that's floating around, or is a bootleg, is not complete. And they say that the sound on my mother's recording is actually better. So there you go. The Friday show, you know, regardless if it's better or not than what's out there, I could not tell you. But that's it. So if anybody from Sony Music is seeing this, you know, please, for the love of God, at this point, got 50 years. I'm sure you can put a rush release on this. Just press it on vinyl and put it out. Do it for the next record store day, maybe even, you know, for before Christmas, if you can get it out there. But yeah, come on, man, let's see this done. I definitely want to see a vinyl release. So what do you think, everybody? Do you think it's going to get done? I don't. And I am definitely not going to hold my breath. But you know what? I'll tell you what. If it does happen, it would be a pleasant surprise. So there you go. And it's funny, when I was thinking about making this video, I'm like, oh, what shirt am I going to wear? Because I was still in my work clothes. And I'm going through my thing, my drawer with Elvis shirts. And then I remembered, well, didn't remember until I found it, but I got this, which is the Elvis in concert, Saturday, June 10th, 72, New York City. So I thought that was pretty funny. It's like, ooh, how appropriate. Yeah. So I guess that's really it. So there we go. Madison Square Garden. All this awesome stuff. Especially, you know, these are treasures from my mom sneaking in the recorder and getting it done. But bravo on her. All right. I'm done rambling. I appreciate you watching. Like I said, if you would like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Will they release Elvis An Afternoon at the Garden on vinyl? Or are they going to just say, it ain't worth it? Again, could be a limited release for Record Store Day. Satisfy the fans. Put it out there. All right. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Appreciate you watching. Good to yourselves, good to each other. Take care, everybody.